Good evening, I'm Esteban
Coming
Quintero,
to
and our
you
Sports
live
Sticker is
from
brought to you
Memorial
by the
Stadium.
experienced
It's
advisors at
Sports
Stonebridge
Nightly.
Wealth Systems.
All the
In Husker news, it's a
all the
matchup of the
time.
Big Ten and the Big
Sports
12
Nightly is
Saturday
presented to
afternoon
you
in
by
Lincoln
the
as Nebraska
NDOT
hosts
Highway Safety
BYU in an
Office, who
exhibition
remind you
contest
to
at Pinnacle
buckle
Link
up
Arena.
and put the phone
Tip-off
down.
is slated for noon and the game will be carried on Big Ten Plus.
The
Number one Nebraska volleyball team is hitting the road this weekend for a pair of matchups in Michigan. The Huskers take on Michigan State Friday night at 6 o'clock Central from the Breslin Center in East Lansing. Then on Sunday, they'll face Michigan at 1 p.m. from the Chrysler Center in Ann Arbor. You can listen to every point right here on the Huskers Radio Network with John Baylor and Lauren Cook-West calling the action. Over in the NFL tonight, we've got Pittsburgh at Cincinnati on Thursday Night Football. Kickoff is set for 7:15. You can watch that on Prime Video. Over in Major League Baseball, the Los Angeles Dodgers and Milwaukee Brewers are underway in Game 3 of the NLCS. They are currently tied at the top of the third. The Dodgers lead that series 2-0. Later tonight, the Toronto Blue Jays face the Seattle Mariners in Game 4 of their ALCS matchup. First pitch is set for 7:33. The Mariners lead that series 2-1. Our sports sticker is brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Hour 1 of Sports Nightly is up next right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Quayle out of the gun, snap, turn, play fake, zips one left, leaping one-handed catch, tumbling in the end zone, Dane Key, touchdown, Huskers! Oh, that was a cold-blooded drive. Washington out of the gun, Fleming in motion right to left. Snap to Washington, game on the line, back to pass, looks over the middle, throws it behind Fleming, incomplete. Nebraska stands tall, and they're gonna win it. Turnover on downs.
Oregon serves. She's already got an ace. This time they pass her. Middle back swing. Kenna Willard blocked. Who else? Rebecca Alec. Nebraska gets block number 5. And the Huskers up 24-16, set 2.
Now, here is your host, Matt Coatney, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and making a rare North American appearance here on Sports Nightly. I'm Matt Coatney, and I am delighted to be with you. I'll be with you for both hours, and you may be asking yourself, is it Saturday? Is this Big Red reaction? Wait a minute. Did I go in a time warp? No. I am like Halley's Comet. I orbit the Earth every 75 years and get asked to host Sports Nightly. The first time I hosted Sports Nightly was in 1999, I want to say. I have hosted this show at one of our radio affiliates here in Lincoln at Broadcast House. I've hosted Sports Nightly in the football radio booth, the Greg Sharp radio booth now. I have hosted Sports Nightly from the Devaney Center, from Pinnacle Bank Arena. I have hosted it from, UCLA, from a conference room with 62 minutes notice. And tonight, I have had several weeks notice when Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks asked me, Coat, so we can go with the football team to Minneapolis on Thursday. Can you host Sports Nightly on Thursday night? And I said, why is football leaving for a Saturday game on Thursday? And then I had to look and realize that I didn't schedule myself to be away from what I do full-time for a living on Friday. So I appreciate Jess and Kyle asking me. So I didn't end up in meetings all day tomorrow in state government. Coming up tonight, in hour 1 of Sports Nightly, we're going to have a conversation that Jessica Coody did with Lindsay Peterson, Director of Operations with Husker Volleyball. That'll be coming up, probably in about 15 or 20 minutes. One of my favorite parts of the week, later in hour 1, is the Big Ten Blitz, which is one of my favorites because it gets you a chance to hear what's going on at other schools. And then in hour 2, just because Jessica and Kyle and Damon and Benny Mack are already up in Minneapolis does not mean you are going to miss the picks. You're not. I'm not making any picks. I don't get asked to make picks, so I'm not going to interject myself in this, but that will be part of hour 2. And because I'm here, you know that I can't sit in this chair unless I take calls. 402-413-2400. And you might be asking yourself, Matt, what are you taking calls on tonight? Well, you may want to know that there's a lot of news in the world of college football tangentially related to Nebraska athletics. And what I'm going to tell you is there still isn't any blue and white smoke coming out of the chimney of Beaver Stadium in Happy Valley. We had hoped that maybe that would have happened by now, and that this whole business about Matt Rule being named as a possible contender to replace James Franklin would be over. But no, every time I flip on one of it's Channel 8 here in Lincoln, KLKN, if you watch their newscast, they've got a running clock in the upper left-hand corner for how long the federal government shutdown has been going on. And I'm thinking, does anybody in Husker Nation really care about that? Maybe there should be a clock on their TV for how long the Penn State football job has been open, because I think most Husker fans care about that right now. So if you would like to phone in or text us at 402-413-2400, we'd love to hear your thoughts on a couple of things. Number one, is this program, is this fan base, are you personally overlooking the Minnesota Golden Gophers? Are you personally overlooking the Minnesota Golden Gophers? Nebraska is over a touchdown favorite, but they have had problems in Minneapolis beating Minnesota. I don't know how they could overlook anybody. Nebraska was a favorite on the road at Maryland last week. They got it done. If Nebraska trips up tomorrow night in Minneapolis, will you be blaming what is going on at Penn State and the Matt Rule situation on that? Are you overlooking Minnesota as a fan base? 402-413-2400. All right, here's the headline news of the day. Curt Cignetti, the Indiana coach, who got extended about a year ago. It was in late 2024. So he's already been extended once this year. He signed an 8-year contract extension today through 2033 for an average annual compensation of approximately $12 million, $11.6 million. So just to let you know, for those of you who don't think college football is a major business, Penn State is paying James Franklin right at $50 million not to coach their team. About $50 million not to coach their team. Indiana has extended Curt Cignetti twice in the last year. The second time he has agreed to a contract extension in less than 1 year. According to USA Today, this makes Curt Cignetti the third highest paid coach in the country. Now, I'm going to tell you, I can't believe Penn State athletic director Pat Kraft fired James Franklin without having a really good idea who he was going to hire. I know a prominent former athletic director who once told me he never fired a coach unless he was reasonably sure who he was going to replace them with. I can't imagine you would pay James Franklin $50 million not to coach unless you knew who you were replacing him with. So here's what I would hate. I would hate to see Matt Rule leave Nebraska. I like Matt Rule. I think he's building things the correct way here. But if he is considering leaving, I would advise him to look at the person he replaced here. Someone very loyal to their alma mater, which is what people say is a major reason Matt Rule would look at Penn State. The person he replaced is someone who was drawn here, who was very happy with where he was, comfortable with where they were. That sounds a lot like Matt Rule. How did that work out for Scott Frost? Not so well. I would advise Matt Rule to look at Nebraska in 2003. Frank Solich finished 9-3, and he was fired. And a lot of people wanted him gone. A lot of people who called into this show in 2003 wanted Frank Solich out of here with a 9-3 record. Very similar to the atmosphere in Happy Valley around James Franklin the last couple of weeks. Steve Peterson dismissed Frank Solich. How did that turn out for Nebraska? I think most Husker fans, upon reflection, think Frank Solich got a raw deal here. Look at the outpouring of appreciation Solich got when he returned last year. I will tell you, the guy who replaces a guy who had a lot of success but not enough success rarely can meet the expectations. I mean, can you imagine the microscope the guy who replaces James Franklin is going to be under? I mean, you can't lose to anyone who isn't in the top 10, and you better win at least a third of your games against top 10 teams. James Franklin was there for over 11 seasons, 15 straight losses to AP top 6 teams, 2-21 against the top 6. That's why he isn't there. So no news on the Matt Rule front right now, but big news in Indiana. Kirk Cignetti staying at Indiana. Hey, Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. When we return, Jessica Coody sits down with Lindsay Peterson, the Director of Operations for Husker Volleyball. That's when Sports Nightly returns in a few moments.
At Woodhouse Honda, we've got the perfect vehicle for every lifestyle. Shop the full Honda lineup and take advantage of limited time offers happening now. Lease the 2025 Honda Ridgeline Sport for $249 a month for 36 months and 10,000 miles per year. Visit us in-store off Highway 281 in Grand Island or online at woodhousehonda.com. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra, security deposit waived, $6,500 due at signing, plus first payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Stock number GH250128. Offer expires October 31st, 2025. See dealer for details.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Preparation is the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pregame routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
As the world's largest family-owned and operated manufacturer of grain storage, drying, and handling equipment, Sukup Manufacturing Company has led the way in innovation, offering top-quality products that empower farmers to thrive. Get ready to tackle your agricultural challenges with Sukup, where innovation meets reliability. Visit sukup.com today to find a dealer near you.
Reliable energy service wherever you need it. Whether it's propane, fuels, or lubricants, Central Valley Ag delivers with reliability and care you can count on. From your farm to your home or your business, CVA Energy is your trusted partner for agricultural, commercial, and residential energy solutions. Details at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
At Woodhouse Hyundai, receive 0% APR for 60 months on select 2025 Hyundai models like the 2025 Hyundai Tucson. Plus, rest easy with Hyundai Owner's Assurance, America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Visit us online at woodhousehyundai.com or woodhouseplacehyundai.com today. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra. Must finance with Hyundai Motor Finance. 10% cash down or trade equity and $299 doc fee due at signing. Available on gas and hybrid models. Offer expires October 31st, 2025. See dealer for details.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole. Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Sports Nightly rolls on a Thursday night. Matt Coatney sitting in just for tonight for Jessica Coody and for Kyle Crooks, and they will be with you along with all of us tomorrow with Husker football at Minnesota. We take the air at 4 o'clock p.m. Central. I'll join you for Big Red Reaction from about 1 a.m. in the morning until 3 a.m. Josh Banderas will be joining me for that. Here's a reminder that the Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Also tomorrow night on some of our Huskers Radio Network affiliates will be Husker Volleyball, the top-ranked Big Red, are making a run through Michigan. They'll be in East Lansing tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Central. You can join the premier radio broadcast of volleyball in the country at 5 p.m. Central with pre-match coverage with John Baylor and Lauren Cook West. The Big Red at Michigan State tomorrow night. And speaking of volleyball, as part of the dig, our Jessica Coody sat down with the Director of Operations of Volleyball, Lindsay Peterson, and here's some of her conversation with Lindsay.
The last few seasons that we've had this podcast, I think all of you guys when you've rotated and have talked about the atmosphere at Purdue. And you could see it. They're right on top of you. The student sections are going like that. And then Purdue Pete, who's arguably the ugliest mascot in all of college sports, is right there too. I would be like nervous with him right there doing his fingers.
Yeah,
at
we
me.
actually lucked out because they were on fall break. So normally that where we started, that whole end zone side or the end court side would be completely packed with students. And so we've had some very rough matches there as far as crowd involvement, and this Sunday wasn't as bad because of fall break. I heard a lot of people say, I don't understand why they didn't play this game at Mackey, but I think that was one of the reasons why we played in that smaller venue, was because so many of their students were gone and they wouldn't be able to create the atmosphere they would like in that big arena, and it might be predominantly Nebraska fans. So I think they were trying to keep it somewhat of a home court advantage playing in the smaller gym, but it is a very tight gym and the fans are right on you. It changes perception as far as serving and understanding how the ball moves and when you're in a smaller gym like that and compared to a bigger arena. And so it is a place that we've had some wars there before. So it always, when you get through that road trip, you kind of take a deep breath because it's always good to come away with a win.
You agree though, Purdue Pete's one of the more unfortunate looking mascots.
Yeah, but it's crazy because you continue to get drawn to what he's doing, which is weird. Like you would see him, I just shake my head because it's like he catches your attention. So
listen, it's not just us. He's on a lot of people have done lists, and he's on there with there's a standard 10 type mascots in college sports, and he's consistently one of those.
I understand.
But you mentioned Harper Murray, and she's a Big Ten Player of the Week, first time in her career. just unbelievable. No errors. How hard is that? What is that like when she's in the zone, right?
Absolutely. She was definitely in a flow state as far as attacking goes. I mean, especially in the role that we expect her to carry, being a 6 rotation player, having to carry the weight, serving and passing. And then also she had several kills out of the back row, hit a very high percentage, which back row attacking, we've worked on and gotten better at, but I feel like you put her in situations where she's out of system more, or they know the ball's going to her, so her chance of getting blocked or making an error is greater. So she really did a great job managing what she had and mixing up her shots and just being really aggressive out of the back row especially. But that's for an outside with that type of role that she plays for our team, that was an incredible match.
And then on Friday night, she had 12 kills with just 1 error. So 2 huge matches for her. What goes into, I know just, being year 3 and she's played a lot of volleyball, but when you are starting to play at that level, what has changed? What has really allowed her to take another step? She's been so good for so long, but even, where you are that efficient offensively.
Yeah, well, I think if you'd ask her, she'd probably say it feels like the game has slowed down for her because she sees it so much better. She can see the block. She understands, reads, what the defense is giving her better. As you come into transition into college, your focus is, speed and making sure feet to the ball. And you have all these things you're thinking about and sometimes get ahead and already worried about what's coming back at you. And I think she's just in a spot right now, and her performance is showing it, that it's just slow and easy for her. And when the game slows down, that allows you as a player to be very successful because it allows you to manage each situation. And she's a very technically sound player as well, so she can see, if Purdue was trying to take away her strength, she was able to go to something else. And a lot of times, players struggle having to try to change what they're good at and try to beat you in another way or try to be successful in another way. They can't withstand that change for a long period of time. And Harper's able to, they try to shut down one thing, she goes to the next. She sees it if they change their blocking scheme or defensive scheme and goes to another. And then I also think she and Bergen have just become very much on the same page as far as knowing where she's at, especially out of the back row. She's doing a great job being available, being vocal. Bergen's able to feel her coming out of the back row, and they just have a great connection right now. And once you get that connection with your setter, it also makes your job easier as an outside hitter. So, she has a lot of experience, but I also think she's studied the game and has worked hard on a lot of things to enable herself to have the game slow down and to be able to be that successful.
Great stuff. I think we see teams trying to do things differently than maybe what they've done to try to get Nebraska off their game. What are you guys seeing in terms of just in match, the players adjusting to what they're seeing that might be different than what they prepared for on film?
Yeah, I mean, just an example would be Sunday's match. Their outside hitters were primarily cross-court, seam cross-court hitters, and our block started taking that away, and so initially took that away, forcing them to hit line. They had some success hitting line early, but then they couldn't continue at that level, and our block was able to adjust on that too, and so started getting touches and then forced them back where our defense was ready for a cross-court attack. So I think it's, Jalen does a great job on the sideline as far as communicating with the blockers and adjustments and not letting the players chase the previous play, and that's easier said than done. A lot of times if you get beat down the line, then that's in your head as you go to block again and you adjust and try to take the line, which opens up their strong shot again. And staying true to what we've trained and what we're expecting them to do and stick with that and being patient and not, if we need to adjust, we'll adjust, but don't adjust after just one change. And our players have done a great job executing that. And then if there needs to be a change in the game plan and we adjust, they're able to make that. But a lot of that goes into the preparation ahead of time, but also how we train every day, like understanding we can still be in the same spot, our body can still be in the same spot, and we can make adjustments with our hands that will help deflect some of those shots if they start going away from their strength.
Seems like a really high-level IQ team. It's one thing to say, Harper's played a lot of volleyball, but it just seems like they understand things, even the freshmen. From top to bottom, it just seems like a team that even, yes, they're very talented physically, but it seems like they understand the game very well.
Yeah, I would definitely say that's the case. I mean, we do have the luxury of having 4 players out there who've played. This is their 3rd year on the court. Taylor's very experienced, but it is a high level IQ, and I think the adjustment, the time period of coming from high school to college, and volleyball, but when you're adjusting to the speed and the physicality and all the things that you don't have to, it comes easy in club and high school, but it's a whole different level once you come to college, especially coming to a place that, is in the top 5, you tend to think, oh boy, this is going to be hard for them. But a lot of times their volleyball IQ kicks in, and it helps make that transition easier. And we do a lot of that, though, too, in our video studies, like bringing them in, watching film, whether watching of themselves, watching of other great players, so they understand and can see. So they may not necessarily see it in an opponent that we play, but they've seen it on video, and they can understand how to then translate that to the court and how they play or how they react to situations. And, I mean, they knew Purdue was notorious for serving short as well. And so our players were on that. They knew how to watch the hand of the server to try to pick that up early, to communicate early for the serve, so it wasn't everyone caught off guard and the ball's coming short. And that's something that you learn as you're serving, and you try to serve short and, or you drive the ball, you learn that. So then it's easy for you after you've seen it on video too, to then watch for those and translate that into the game.
Fascinating. You had said something earlier too that the 2 matches, and I think again from maybe the outside looking in, it's like, oh, they're sweeping teams. They haven't lost a set in Big Ten play, but you had talked about they were challenged within those matches. What are some of those challenges that they're being, I guess, that they're facing that is allowing them to grow, even though it might look from the outside that, hey, this looks pretty easy for this team?
Yeah, I mean, I think with Washington, it was a lot of they kept the ball in play. They forced you to score points. They didn't give you points. And sometimes when you feel like you're beating teams easily, you just think you're going to get easy points from teams and rely on that as a way and to win your sets or matches. And that's not what Washington was about. And Washington forces you to play good defense. Like they are good in placing the ball, so it makes you work harder in transition. And so we really had to work on that, is being able to cover the tip and then make sure every hitter was up and it wasn't taking players out, or making sure if somebody was taken out by a tip, we had a back row option or whatever it was. So it forced us to try to elevate our game, knowing how they play their game. And so it just worked that we were able to do that and play at a fairly high level doing it. But that's obviously not the case every time. That's you have to prepare, understanding that teams are going to do stuff to try to throw you off. And then I think, in Purdue is the serving, the type of serve they did. They are notorious for being a great ball handling, first contact team, passing team. So knowing that our players had to take ownership going to the service line and understanding I have to be a great server today. I have to force them to be out of system to make it easier on our defense, because when they're an in-system team, they have weapons, and makes it harder on our defense. And so knowing that you are facing a great passing team, you have to take ownership from the service line. So those little areas continue to make our team better. Maybe the score doesn't reflect it, or it's not a 5-set match, but it forces us to be uncomfortable in some situations, or force us to get better at things that maybe we don't do every match.
How do you guys go about figuring out who's going to serve in any given match, and even, I guess, in any given set?
Well, I mean, we have our set rotations, but we also see how they start serving. Virginia has a really great serve, but right now she's working on her consistency. So you the coaches decide, like, how many do we want to go letting her serve. It also decision may be if you sub her out and have a DS come in and serve. I mean, a DS is subbing into playback row for her. If we find that they're trying to attack her on defense, and maybe we look at subbing her out and having a DS serve, so if they're attacking that area on defense, it's into a defensive specialist instead of into a 6'5", lefty. So some of those decisions come in. Same with Andy. Andy has really come along with her serve. She has a great serve. But if you start to err, we look at bringing in another option, and as well as defense too. I mean, we tell our setters, when a middle's serving, take advantage of that. So you understand if there's a middle back there playing defense, they're not training a ton on backcourt defense. Their focus is offense, block, transition, all that. So they're not spending a lot of time really developing their backcourt defensive game. So we expect other teams to think the same thing. And so if they haven't taken advantage, and Andy and Virginia know that, to be prepared to play defense, but you're also giving a little bit up by keeping a middle or somebody in instead of bringing in somebody that's a DS and specializes in that.
How has Andy come along in that then? If you guys concentrate on that, I'm sure. So how has she improved in that area?
She's continued to becoming a little more comfortable. There's times that she panics out there, I think, but we all laugh about it because, I mean, it's just a part of the game. If you think of expecting somebody that's a back row player to go up and try to, move laterally and block and cover a middle and then be able to close on an outside, they would feel like their head is spinning a little bit. And I think that's a similar situation for these, Andy and Virginia, is that they don't spend a majority of their practice back there, but we do work on it because it could be a key point in the match. And we expect the opposing team to attack them, and we don't want to, if they have such a great serve, we don't want to let the fact that a team is going to attack them on defense take them out and not serve, because we feel like that's a greater asset for us. So, they're both very open. They want to get better. They both want to be all-around volleyball players, and they, if you look at what is in the future as far as professional and stuff, there's not as many subs, and so a lot of times you have to be able to do that. So those are just things that we train here to help make them the best volleyball player in the future and down the road.
Absolutely. You wear a lot of different hats, and one of the big tasks that you are, tasked with every single year is building the schedule. We've talked to you about it a little bit, but how has it changed from when you first started kind of figuring out what the schedule is going to look like to where it is now? Because it seems like so many people want a piece of Nebraska and what comes along with having the Huskers play in their building and their venue and their tournaments.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would say 5 years ago, it was more trying to get teams to come in, paying teams to come in to play us at home. So we had home matches because we knew we'd sell out. And you have some teams that want to come play, whether they have Nebraska athletes on their team or they just want their team to experience that atmosphere. That was how we would look at scheduling. Like, we'd have other teams reach out to us, but then we usually had the final say based off of, a lot of times we're looking at RPI because we have to build strength of schedule to help us in December. And a lot of teams are looking at the same thing. So a lot of times they may come in and say, well, we can't afford to come play at your tournament and lose 3 games because you have 3 top 10 teams there. But we'd be willing to come play you guys knowing we're probably going to lose, but we also want to play a couple other teams, maybe a mid-major or somebody else. There'll be a great match, has a great shot of winning their conference. Their RPI is going to be pretty high. They're going to help us come December as well. So scheduling is really, it's really about that puzzle, putting those pieces together, trying to anticipate what this team's going to look like based off of last year. Are they going to be a great RPI team? And you have to also take into account what your conference is like. So last year, the Big Ten was, significantly higher RPI conference than it is right now currently. So we knew we were playing great RPI teams in our conference, where some conferences, they may have no other teams rated in their conference, and it actually hurts them when they go to conference play because of playing those teams. So we look at that. That's how we would look and schedule. We still look at it that way, but now we're getting third-party, venues reaching out, or third-party organizations reaching out, wanting us to come host it, put a tournament on TV, play in Vegas, play in some football stadium, play, in a big basketball arena, whatever it may be, because they want to capitalize on the growing of, popularity of volleyball right now. Getting also the Husker fans to fill the venue, but also trying to make it an experience. It's not so much about, hey, you're coming to play this match. It's starting to turn more into like what you see in basketball over Thanksgiving. Those kind of specialized tournaments like that is what people are looking at now. But now our tough, we have to come back and manage, well, is it going to be worth it for us to travel somewhere else, make somebody else money? What do we need to get as a guarantee in order to make it worth us to not hold a match at home where we know we could sell out and all that? And so those are now starting to become the bigger pieces that we're looking at that we didn't really have to shuffle through a couple years ago. And that just speaks volumes to where volleyball is right now and the popularity of it and how media is starting to jump on and TV, and everybody wants to get on, this wild train right now and get a little piece of the pie. And it just so happens that, they know the piece they could get from us would be pretty large based off of where our team is and our following.
Great interview with Jessica Coody from the Huskers Radio Network there with Lindsay Peterson from Husker Volleyball. Matt Coatney sitting in tonight on Sports Nightly. I'll be with you for both hours tonight. We're getting you ready for Huskers at Minnesota tomorrow night. It's a Friday night football game. Don't think it's a Saturday game, everybody. It's a Friday night game. Coming up, we've got the Big Ten Blitz, but first let me tell you about Woodhouse. They've been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Coming up next, the Big Ten Blitz. Stay right there.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
A little more slack. Plug it in.
Whoever said work smarter, not harder, didn't realize you could do both.
Get 0.9% plus $32.50 cash on F-150 or lease F-150 for $499 a month and $0 down.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect that water is the reason parts of your concrete have gotten so uneven. Walkway tripping hazards, sinking pool deck, cracked driveways are dangerous threats to everyone's safety. But there's one way to learn how your concrete can be lifted. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Visit a participating AGCO dealer between September 8th and October 31st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the Nebraska-Iowa football game on November 28th in Lincoln, plus a pregame tailgate experience. Don't miss your shot to be a part of the action. See True Turf and Ag in Osmond, Columbus, and Fall City or Osceola Implement to enter. It's easy, it's free, and you could be cheering on the Huskers in person this season. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Hogemeyer, we're raising the bar on yield performance, bringing world-class traits and genetics to these local fields with the exceptional corn rootworm control and proven powerful yields of new Vorseed Enlist corn. The unsurpassed flexibility and protection against above-ground pests with PowerCore Enlist corn. And other next-gen corn hybrids built to perform and boost your yields. It's time to raise a better crop. View Hogemeyer products at therightseed.com.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole. Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Welcome back to the Akrs Broadcast Center. I'm Bobby Hessling, and this is the Big Ten Blitz presented by Groundworks, the official foundation company of the Huskers.
This is the Big Ten Blitz.
Here to talk about Iowa is Scott Docterman from the Athletics. Scott is talking about Iowa, addressing the elephant in the room. Iowa about to play a very emotional Penn State team, 3 straight losses for them, and they just fired their head football coach in James Franklin. How does Iowa hold focus trying to beat Penn State, who's going to come in with all sorts of different emotions, into a really tough place to play in Kinnick Stadium?
Well, to beat Penn State, I mean, I think that's probably going to be, pretty important for Iowa. It doesn't matter who's the head coach. I mean, these two teams don't have a great affinity for one another. So it wouldn't have mattered if they would have been number 2 and 6-0, or if they're 3-3 and lost 3 straight. But I do think in this situation, if you're Penn State, Iowa's not a team you really want to play. I mean, Penn State is a much more talented team. However, they're so fundamentally sound and disciplined and tough that if your emotions are swirling, they'll knock the stuffing out of you. And that's kind of what happened to Wisconsin a little bit the other day, and I think that's probably the case here. Now for Iowa, it really doesn't, I don't think it affects them at all, because they're so businesslike in how they go about setting up for a game, that I think that they're just going to practice for the players who are there. They've got to face a new quarterback. They've got to face some talented players, and they're just going to focus on the task at hand. So for the Hawkeyes going against Penn State, I don't see anything out of the norm of the preparation, despite James Franklin and being fired and Drew Aller being out.
And the Hawkeyes just steamrolled Wisconsin on Saturday. How does Iowa carry that momentum over into a game against a very talented Penn State team?
I think in some ways it helps them, because they're progressively getting better this year. Their defense is improving, and their offense is, still a work in progress, but they're running the ball with effectiveness and a lot of physicality. They've got a really good game manager in Mark Gronowski. He's completing passes at a high percentage, much higher than they've had in a long, long time. And although they're not, dynamic by any stretch, they're effective. And I think by beating one of their biggest rivals on the road, and conversely for Wisconsin, which put all of its offseason focus into beating Iowa, and it turned out so poorly, I think in Iowa's case, it just showed that they are getting better, that they feel pretty good about the way they are. And I think in Wisconsin's case, it's all she wrote.
The offense for Iowa continues to be spotty, but last week against Wisconsin actually looked pretty fundamentally sound. How do they just continue their consistency and just get better and better throughout the course of the year, especially with Gronowski as their quarterback with, tough games ahead?
Right now, they benefited from having their top wide receiver back. He hadn't played yet this year. He had a stress fracture in training camp, and finally got out there and played a significant number of snaps, had a couple of catches in Reese Vanderzee, so they feel good about that. Mark Gronowski is still kind of in some ways, because there's been so many pieces out, and he's been hurt. He got hurt against Indiana in the fourth quarter. That I think in some ways it's now about just continuously gain chemistry in the passing game, and I think it's there. It's again, it's not dynamic, it's just effective. And so it's just about perfecting that process. And for Iowa, it's not pretty, and it's not, there's nothing really great I could say that if they do this, they're going to be that much better. It's just about improvement, and I'm seeing those strides game in, game out, and ultimately they've got to go against one of the most talented teams that they'll face on their schedule, wherever their emotional state may be.
Well, Scott, thank you so much for joining us on the Big Ten Blitz. Iowa and Penn State will play at 6 p.m. tomorrow night on Peacock.
Thanks, Bobby. Here to talk about the Wildcats is Louis Vaquer from Wildcat Report. Well, Louis, Northwestern is coming off a really nice 22-21 win at Penn State last week. What were you able to take away from that game?
Yeah, that was a big win for the program. Probably the signature win of David Braun's 3 years in Evanston. And I think what impressed me the most that day is that it's not like they went out and dominated this one. They made plenty of mistakes. They had a punt block right off the bat. But each time, Penn State took the lead 3 different times in the game, and each time they came back. And to do that in a place like Beaver Stadium with over 100,000 fans. And yeah, Penn State has been a disappointment this year, and it cost James Franklin his job, but that's still a very tough place to play. And that's really a big win for the Northwestern program. And, they're third in a row, and things are looking up in Evanston.
The Wildcats are 4-2 overall and 2-1 in conference play. How would you assess the vibe around the program through the first half of the season?
Yeah, it's pretty positive. I mean, they started out very rough. They went down to Tulane and really took it on the chin. They lost 23-3. Preston Stone threw 4 interceptions, had a fumble. It looked pretty dismal. But since then, they took care of business against a couple lower level teams, and then they won 3 in a row now, a couple in the Big Ten. And their only loss in the last 5 weeks has been to Oregon, a top 10 team. So, I think they really feel like they found an identity on offense. They're going to go with the power running game, and Preston Stone has been much sharper these last few games. So they're feeling pretty good going into the second half of the season.
Has there been anyone on the team that surprised you with how they've played so far this season?
Well, I'd say Preston Stone surprised me the negative way to start the season, that's for sure. I've been really impressed with the offensive line overall. I think, Jackson Carcello, the center, who really struggled last year, he's been solid. Evan Biernston, a guard that came over from South Dakota State, has been really good in the middle there, and they've gotten some good play up front. And then I'd say Caleb Komolafe, who was a guy that, Cam Porter, who was a 6th-year player, 3rd-year captain, one of the leaders of the team. He went down with a season-ending injury in week 2. And Komolafe has just stepped up and become the feature back, and they got him with Joe Hyman, adds a little speed. But Komolafe has been the guy that they really leaned on during this winning streak, and it's become kind of the identity. They're going to be a power running team, and then use play action off of that, I think, moving forward.
Well, this week, Northwestern returns home to take on Purdue. How do you see this game playing out, Louis?
Well, this is a game they got to get, right? I mean, you got Purdue at home. Purdue's struggling. They've lost 4 in a row, I think. And, this is a game Northwestern has to take care of business. In the past, Northwestern, they were noted as a team that win a game you didn't expect them to, and lose a game you didn't expect them to. But David Braun has been pretty solid against teams he's supposed to beat. So that's the expectation. They got to win this game, and continue their march in the Big Ten this year.
Purdue and Northwestern will kick off Saturday at 2 on the Big Ten Network. Thanks for your time, Louis.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
This has been the Big Ten Blitz, presented by Groundworks. My thanks to Bobby Hessling for his help, and Scott Dochterman and Louis Vaquer for joining us. And the Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. More Sports Nightly coming up after this.
Reliable energy service wherever you need it. Whether it's propane, fuels, or lubricants, Central Valley Ag delivers with reliability and care you can count on. From your farm to your home or your business, CVA Energy is your trusted partner for agricultural, commercial, and residential energy solutions. Details at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Hey Huskers, what would you do with up to $75K to upgrade your irrigation game? Automate that tough corner of your farm, add remote monitoring, or finally swap out that old pivot? Valley Irrigation just kicked off a bold $100,000 grant backing growers with real plays. 2 big awards, 1 chance to turn your irrigation challenge into a game-winning drive. See the playbook at valleyirrigation.com/Huskers. Just log in and grab an instant $50 Valley Parts or Service voucher. Here's the snap, valleyirrigation.com/Huskers.
The color red means something to us. It means tough, ready, and powerful. It means our standards are high, and we expect the highest level of performance on and in the field. So while the Huskers are getting it done on the football field, you can count on Massey Ferguson tractors to get it done in your field. With its seamless CVT transmission and efficient AGCO-powered engine, you'll keep charging down the field all season long. Check out the full line of Massey Ferguson equipment at Osceola Implement in Osceola and True Ag and Turf in Falls City, Columbus, and Osmond.
As the world's largest family-owned and operated manufacturer of grain storage, drying, and handling equipment, Sukup Manufacturing Company has led the way in innovation, offering top-quality products that empower farmers to thrive. Get ready to tackle your agricultural challenges with Sukup, where innovation meets reliability. Visit sukup.com today to find a dealer near you.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
The color red means something to us. It means tough, ready, and powerful. It means our standards are high, and we expect the highest level of performance on and in the field. So while the Huskers are getting it done on the football field, you can count on Massey Ferguson tractors to get it done in your field. With its seamless CVT transmission and efficient AGCO-powered engine, you'll keep charging down the field all season long. Check out the full line of Massey Ferguson equipment at Osceola Implement in Osceola and True Ag and Turf in Falls City, Columbus, and Osmond.
As the world's largest family-owned and operated manufacturer of grain storage, drying, and handling equipment, Sukup Manufacturing Company has led the way in innovation, offering top-quality products that empower farmers to thrive. Get ready to tackle your agricultural challenges with Sukup, where innovation meets reliability. Visit sukup.com today to find a dealer near you.
Welcome back to Sports Nightly as we wrap up Hour 1. I'm Matt Coatney, and we will take your text at 402-413-2400. Like Art in Los Angeles, a longtime texter to this show, and he said, wow, Matt, waiting for this day for a very long time. When you host this show, it's such a treat. Oh, Art, thank you very much. Can you please talk some about women's basketball? Go Big Red. Art, I have a women's basketball broadcast in 8 days. Husker women's basketball takes on Mount Marty at 8 o'clock Central next Friday night, a week from tomorrow night. Jeff Grease and I will be on the call for another year. I'm not ready, but I will be by next Friday night, believe me. And Callan Hake will be there, and Britt Prince and all the players will be there, and I hope you'll join us for that also. So thank you, Art. Really appreciate you bringing it up. Coming up in Hour 2, even though Jess and Kyle are gone, we're going to have their picks. That'll be fun in Hour number 2 as they get us all set for the weekend. And we'll take your text at 402-413-2400. I will get you set for Husker football tomorrow night. And we will be with you at 4 o'clock Central tomorrow, 7 o'clock kickoff, or 3 o'clock Central, 4 o'clock Central, and a 7 o'clock kickoff right here on the Huskers Radio Network. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly comes your way next.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
set, hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
As the world's largest family-owned and operated manufacturer of grain storage, drying, and handling equipment, Sukup Manufacturing Company has led the way in innovation, offering top-quality products that empower farmers to thrive. Get ready to tackle your agricultural challenges with Sukup, where innovation meets reliability. Visit sukup.com today to find a dealer near you.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
A little more slack. Plug it in.
Whoever said work smarter, not harder, didn't realize you could do both.
Get 0.9% plus $32.50 cash on F-150 or lease F-150 for $499 a month and 0 down.
Okay, good evening. I'm Esteban Quintero, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. In Husker news, it's a matchup of the Big Ten and the Big 12. Saturday afternoon in Lincoln as Nebraska hosts BYU in an exhibition contest at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Tip-off is slated for noon, and the game will be carried on Big Ten Plus. Number 1 Nebraska volleyball team is hitting the road this weekend for a pair of matches up in Michigan. The Huskers take on Michigan State Friday night at 6 o'clock Central from the Breslin Center in East Lansing. Then on Sunday, they'll face Michigan at 1 p.m. from the Chrysler Center in Ann Arbor. You can listen to every point right here on the Husker Radio Network with John Baylor and Lauren Cook West calling the action. Over in the NFL tonight, we've got Pittsburgh at Cincinnati on Thursday Night Football. Kickoff is getting started here in 10 minutes. You can watch that on Prime Video. Over in Major League Baseball, the Los Angeles Dodgers and Milwaukee Brewers are underway in Game 3 of the NLCS. They are currently tied at the bottom of the 6th. The Dodgers lead that series 2-0. Later tonight, the Toronto Blue Jays face the Seattle Mariners in Game 4 of their ALCS matchup. First pitch is set for 7:33. The Mariners lead that series 2-1. Our sports ticker is brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Quayle out of the gun, snap, turn, play fake, zips one left, leaping one-handed catch, tumbling in the end zone, Dane Key, touchdown, Huskers! Oh, that was a cold-blooded drive. Washington out of the gun, Fleming in motion right to left. Snap to Washington, game on the line, back to pass, looks over the middle, throws it behind Fleming, incomplete. Nebraska stands tall, and they're gonna win it. Turnover on downs.
Oregon serves. She's already got an ace. This time they pass her. Middle back swing. Kenna Willard blocked. Who else? Rebecca Alec. Nebraska gets block number 5. And the Huskers up 24-16, set 2.
Now, here is your host, Matt Coatney, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Hour 2 of Sports Nightly comes your way tonight, and wherever you are, welcome in. I'm Matt Coatney. I am sitting in for Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks tonight. They took off so they could go with football up to Minneapolis as the Big Red takes on the Minnesota Golden Gophers tomorrow. We will start coverage off at 3 o'clock Central here on the Huskers Radio Network. We'll take you all the way up through Big Red Reaction at 2 o'clock a.m. Josh Banderas, former Husker linebacker, will be my co-host tomorrow night. And we will talk Husker football here in hour number 2. We also will have the weekly picks for everybody. They made sure they got those in and recorded before they hit the road, and so we'll do that. But the big news in college football today is still no movement on the Penn State head coaching job. Matt Rule, not only still a leading candidate for that, according to most media members in most circles, but the other leading candidate, Kurt Cignetti of Indiana, signed an 8-year contract through 2033 today, his second extension in 1 year. Indiana Athletic Director Scott Dolson said, "We are committed to investing in IU football in such a way that we can compete at a championship level, and the number one priority in doing that is ensuring that Coach Cignetti is the leader of our program. I will give this to Kurt Cignetti. He knows how to play the game to get a contract extension, 2 contract extensions in 1 year. He will make $11.6 million per year. The contract runs through 2033. According to USA Today Sports, this would make Kurt Cignetti the 3rd highest paid coach in the country. So he's not going anywhere. And there isn't any blue and white smoke coming out of any chimneys at Beaver Stadium or anywhere in Happy Valley. And I think the longer this goes on, it should make Husker fans even more nervous for if Matt Rule is going to stay here or not. And as I said in hour one, I can't believe Pat Kraft, the athletic director for Penn State, would fire James Franklin without having a really good idea who he was going to hire. I mean, you don't just unload a coach without having a pretty good idea which way you're going. And if it's not Kurt Cignetti, then every sign points to Matt Rule at this point, and I hope that doesn't happen. I think with a Friday night game this week, if it's Matt Rule going to Penn State, I don't think we'd hear anything before the Friday night game. We certainly haven't heard Matt Rule say he's not going to Penn State. I think if you're nervous about this, Sunday is a very key time if anything were to happen. Penn State hasn't made any announcements. They haven't expressed that they're going to wait till the end of the football season. So if you're nervous about this, with the Huskers playing on Friday night, that opens up discussions or contract signings on Saturday. I don't think any announcement will be made by Penn State on a Saturday, but certainly Sunday might be a key day to take a look at. But as I said in hour one, I'd hate to see Matt Rule leave here. I think he's doing a great job. I like what he's doing here. I think he's building things the correct way. I think he can just look at the person he replaced here in Scott Frost as somebody who was drawn to his alma mater, like a lot of people saying that Matt Rule would be drawn to Penn State, and see how that worked out for Scott Frost. That didn't work out well. It doesn't always work well to come home. And you take a look just here back in 2003 when Steve Peterson unloaded Frank Solich, and a lot of people thought that was a great move at the time. 9-3 wasn't going to get it done. How did that turn out? Not good. It is hard to replace somebody who had great success. And I understand that James Franklin had 15 straight losses to AP top 6 teams and was 2-21 against the top 6. But he did win a Big Ten championship. He had 5 bowl wins, 5 top 10 finishes, 8 double-digit win seasons, and he was 64-36 against the Big Ten. That's pretty good. Now, the bad is he was 1-10 against Ohio State and 3-7 against Michigan, and he was 2-21 against the top 6. But what I'm saying is that if you replace James Franklin, what's the standard? You really can't lose to a non-ranked team. And you're going to have to win at least 30% of your games against top 10 teams. And the guy you're replacing, they had no problem paying $49 million to not coach the team. So the pressure there, unbelievable. Now, in terms of the game tomorrow night, is Nebraska overlooking Minnesota? And I don't think the football team is. I will tell you, this particular staff and this program, they don't leave anything to chance. They're as organized as anyone. I know Matt Rule is trying to turn off all the noise, but I don't know how you can with everything that's going on. The distractions are very, very real here. I think a lot of fans are overlooking Minnesota. Nebraska is now ranked. I think it's the most pivotal game of the season, not the most important. There's a distinction, but we've been here 1 year ago, 5-1 last season. Do you remember that? A win tomorrow sets up the rest of the season and makes you favored against a Northwestern team that's already beat Penn State. Probably if you win against Northwestern, you're favored in maybe the rest of your games. Might be interesting. So tomorrow night's game, in my opinion, is the most pivotal game of the season. Not the most important, but think about if Nebraska doesn't get it done tomorrow night. Everybody is going to be saying it was because of the distraction with Matt Rule, and not because Minnesota is a good football team that's 4-0 at home this year and runs the ball well, and Nebraska struggles against running teams. Nebraska has several disadvantages. Both teams have one fewer day to prepare, but Minnesota was home against Purdue, and Nebraska was on the road last weekend, and Nebraska is on the road for this one. They haven't won in Minneapolis since 2015. Nebraska's defense against the run is going to be critical, and I mean critical. And even though Minnesota is 112th in the nation in running the ball, they are going to try to control the clock. They want to make this a short game. And if Nebraska cannot get their defense off the field, that's going to be a problem tomorrow night. They need to make the freshman quarterback Drake Lindsay throw the ball. So a lot coming up tomorrow night with Nebraska at Minnesota. Hey, friends, Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. I'm Matt Coatney. This is Sports Nightly. Coming up, we're going to have the picks segment, which, there's a lot of people who are doing picks. I'm not going to do picks tonight because there are enough people who are giving their picks for college football this weekend. It's a big weekend of college football. We've also got Husker volleyball tomorrow night for you on some of our affiliates. You can join John Baylor and Lauren Cook West at 5 p.m. Central, 6 o'clock with First Serve from East Lansing, Michigan. Husker volleyball, top-ranked, taking on Michigan State. They're making a tour through Michigan this weekend. So that's what's coming up, and we'll take your text at 402-413-2400, 402-413-2400. We'll get to our pick segment when Sports Nightly returns in a few moments.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Hey Husker fans, every grower's got that game-winning play. Maybe it's upgrading that old pivot, switching up the play with smart tech, or controlling water like a pro. Valley Irrigation's putting $100,000 on the line to back 2 growers ready to score big. This is your chance to get that $75K or $25K irrigation grant, plus a $50 parts or service voucher just for logging in. Don't sit on the sidelines. Visit valleyirrigation.com/Huskers. That's valleyirrigation.com/Huskers.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. Just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole. Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive. From enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
At Hogemeyer, we're raising the bar on yield performance, bringing world-class traits and genetics to these local fields with the exceptional corn rootworm control and proven powerful yields of new Vorceed-less corn. The unsurpassed flexibility and protection against above-ground pests with Power Corn-less corn, and other next-gen corn hybrids built to perform and boost your yields. It's time to raise a better crop. View Hogemeyer products at therightseed.com.
A little more slacking.
Plug it in.
Whoever said work smarter, not harder, didn't realize you could do both.
Get 0.9% plus $32.50 cash on F-150 or lease F-150 for $499 a month and 0 down.
The color red means something to us. It means tough, ready, and powerful. It means our standards are high, and we expect the highest level of performance on and in the field. So while the Huskers are getting it done on the football field, you can count on Massey Ferguson tractors to get it done in your field. With its seamless CVT transmission and efficient AGCO-powered engine, you'll keep charging down the field all season long. Check out the full line of Massey Ferguson equipment at Osceola Implement in Osceola and True Ag and Turf in Falls City, Columbus, and Osmond.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by
Akrs,
the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more.
Akrs,
Solutions for every
field. Come on, boys and girls, it's almost game time.
There he is, Jeremiah Searles. So you know what time it is. It is time to make our weekly picks. We welcome in the rest of the crew, Kyle Crooks, Camden Cohn, Josh Hilkeman here as well. Hey, we have a new, well, tied at the top, but new for him, winner for the week. Give it up for Kyle. And
please.
Searles, you even texted him. I'm really proud of you.
Hey, man, you gotta give morale.
Please.
You gotta give morale. It's the only thing that keeps.
We are the champions. Please listen. I didn't have time to get to the right part of the song.
Oh, you win one
just
week.
Soak that in.
At least you didn't quit this week, you know?
Yeah, it's a step in the right direction.
We just have this playing in the background while we talk. Just.
Well, if you want to get us sued.
You're going to get us kicked off YouTube. Actually, you know what? That's a good point. If it's under 30 seconds, we're good. We're fine.
So anyways, and congratulations to you too, Camden. But
Thank you. Thank you.
You've won before. Obviously, somebody knows how to win, somebody doesn't.
He's used to the
Kyle and Camden go 8-3. Searles,
Oh, you went
and
8-3 too?
I did.
That's cool.
You and I. That's all he cares about is Kyle wins. Searles, you and me 7-4. The interns went 6-5, and Josh, you
and Nick,
stuck at the bottom. Josh and Nick go 5-6.
Hey, it's boom or bust for me, so we'll see what happens this week.
Feast or famine for Josh. I love it.
Well, so that changes up the overall standings leaderboard because Camden is now back in the lead, 51-30 overall. Josh, a couple games behind him. Searle, or myself and the interns, 3 games behind that. Kyle and Searles, 3 games behind me, and then Nick is now at the bottom. So Kyle, slowly but surely.
It's a slow climb.
At least you're not last anymore.
This is the start of something cinematic. Is the way I would put it.
It's the halfway point, Kyle. It's only up from here, right? We've made our lumps. We've taken our lumps as young players, right? We're on our way up.
If you learned anything from the Huskers this past week, winning times in the fourth quarter. For me, winning times back half.
Yeah, you did throw some picks in that first half.
Well, let's quickly recap a couple of the more shocking outcomes from last week, starting with Indiana 30-20 over Oregon. Searles, Indiana pretty much kind of dominated that game.
I loved that game. Was super fun to watch. I mean, I had it on while the Huskers were playing, and I'm going back and forth, and Indiana just out physicaled Oregon. It wasn't this track meet like I thought it might be. I think Indiana they're for real this year. They're better than they were last year. They're better on the line of scrimmage. They've got better receivers. That is a legitimate contender in this year's college football playoff.
And then Texas just dominates OU. OU couldn't score, couldn't do anything. My dad was there. He said the game management by old Brent Venables wasn't ideal either. That was during our game, so I didn't see a second of it. Who picked Texas? Searles?
I think I did. Me and Searles.
Me and Kyle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So y'all went
hook 'em, baby.
Kyle, what'd you think of that one?
Well, like you, I didn't get a chance to watch a second of it, but I was impressed with Arch because of, look, there's a lot of noise around him. He's had a lot of pressure coming into this season. So for him to lead his team to a win after what was a rough week in the Swamp, pretty impressive with the way he was able to bounce back. And I think we're looking at Texas a little bit differently now.
Searles, you've been a big Arch fan.
Yeah, huge. No, I mean, I think the bigger issue for me was Oklahoma's defense didn't show up to that game.
Yeah.
I mean, that
or
was
the second
a game
half they
primed.
didn't.
That was a game primed for Oklahoma to smother this offense that has been struggling. They're coming off the Florida loss, everything, and they just didn't show up. And then they let Texas get the running game going, which then allowed Arch to open up things in the second half. Hats off. That's a fun one to win. I mean, that's a coin flip game. Throw the records out of the window, coin flip. But I think Texas, they should not have won that game. That should have been Oklahoma's game to win.
I told you guys last week what you think is supposed to happen doesn't ever happen in that game. But how about USC and Michigan? I'm not really surprised USC won, but I'm kind of surprised it was to the point that they won. Searles, you and I both picked Michigan. We thought USC couldn't handle the physicality.
Well, after I watched Sharon Moore put on a blue-collar jacket, I probably shouldn't have picked Michigan after the forecast, like 2020's hindsight there, because that's just a little gimmicky in that front there. But USC, I can't figure that team out. Are they good? Are they okay? Are they average? Are they bad?
We'll find out this week.
We'll find out this week. But, man, I just cannot peg what's going on with that USC football team. All I know is they've got a ton of talent.
They dominated the line of scrimmage.
Would you have thought USC? We thought the other way was going to happen? Yeah.
Yeah, I did not see that one coming, and so I don't know if they just geared up or what happened. But hey, got to get back to blue collar work if you're a Michigan Wolverine.
Did anybody pick Colorado, Josh?
No, not one.
What's up with Iowa State?
Matt Campbell's just trying not to coach for Penn State. I think I don't know what's going on.
All right, well, let's see how we do this week. A couple of those teams we talked about on the picks again this week. So we're going to start with, it used to be the Revivalry, but we found out doing some research, Searles, that it is now the Blue Bonnet Battle. Baylor at TCU. This is also a very heated rivalry. 11 a.m. on ESPN2. TCU favored by 2.5. Camden he's one more, so we're going to start with him since it was a tie. So we'll start with Camden.
All right. I think TCU bounces back after they lost last week, and I'll take the Horned Frogs.
Kyle?
I'll go with TCU at home. To me, this is sort of a coin flip game for me, but for TCU, a lot of expectation, I think, for them in the Big 12 coming in, but give me them at home.
Searles?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the home team here. I think if Baylor was home, I'd pick them, but I'm going to take TCU at home.
This is one that I was back and forth on, but I'm going to stick with TCU. I've actually had very little success picking either of these teams in picks.
Same.
So I don't really have a reason. I'll go with TCU.
I'm going to go upstream by myself with this one.
There we go.
I'll go with Baylor. I don't know.
Love it.
Again, I don't know what either of these teams are. It varies from week to week, but you guys all went TCU, so I'll see if I can pick up a point on you guys. Go with Baylor. All right. Top 25 matchup. Number 10, LSU at number 17, Vandy. 11 a.m. on ABC, and Vanderbilt is favored 2.5. Kyle?
I love Vanderbilt in this game. LSU's had such issues getting their passing game going, which is surprising to me. 11 a.m., you're not sleepy. It's not a sleepy spot for an opponent now because Vanderbilt's ranked and they're good. But I love Pavia at home. Give me Vandy.
Searles?
I'm with you. I'm going to take Pavia at home. This is their Alabama game from last year, right? This is the tear the goalpost down, throw them into the river type of football game. Give me Vanderbilt.
I think Vandy might be reeling a little bit from getting blasted by Alabama. So none of LSU's wins look amazing at this point either, but I don't know. I think they're finding a way. I think they're still more talented than Vanderbilt. So
I think I'll love that pick too.
Take LSU.
I'm with you, Josh. I've got LSU as well, and they've bit me lots of times. in the behind, but I don't know. I'm just not. It's hard for me to just be all in on Vanderbilt. I don't know.
Your dad didn't have the saying of never bet against Vanderbilt at 11 a.m. at home?
No, he did not.
Well, I'm going to take the advice, and I'm going to take Vandy. I think they do bounce back. Like Kyle and Searles were saying, I think it is kind of like their Alabama game from last year, and I think they get it done.
All right, how about number 12, Georgia Tech, unbeaten at 6-0 at Duke, 11 a.m. on ESPN. Duke was favored 2.5. Now it's down to 1.5. Searles, you get to pick first in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to take Duke in the upset here. I think Duke, Georgia Tech's been great. They've been running the football extremely effectively. Their quarterback's been running the ball really well. But I really like this Duke football team. They've got a really solid offensive line. They don't beat themselves. I like Duke here to pull the upset at home.
Well, Duke is technically favored, right? Didn't you say? Or are they?
Yep.
Yeah. So
are they? Well, they're against the 5-0. The ranked team. It's a ranked team, so they might be an upset on Vegas. But I think it would be an upset because they're playing a ranked team.
Sure. And I've been a huge Duke guy this year. They've done me well in picks, but that's going to stop now. I like Georgia Tech. They're solid at quarterback with Haynes King. They found ways to win so far. I think that continues here. They get it done on the road.
I'm rolling with the Dukies, too. They've been good to me in picks, and I like their offense. And look, I know we were chatting earlier. That was an impressive win at Cal for me. So I'm going to go with Duke, and we'll see. This is going to be a fun one. Camden, who you got?
I think I'm going to go with the Yellow Jackets on the road. It's kind of like a prove-it game, I feel like, for Georgia Tech. They haven't really beat anyone this season, and I think even though Duke's 4-2, but 3-0 in the ACC, I think that this can kind of be their prove-it game.
Georgia Tech, you want to be a playoff team? You got to go on the road and you got to beat Duke. This ain't basketball. You got to go on the road and you got to beat Duke if you want to be in the CFP. So with that, give me Georgia Tech because I think there's a very good shot they'll be a playoff team.
Okay. All righty. Purdue at Northwestern, 2 o'clock on the Big Ten Network. Northwestern coming off I asked Camden if they felt guilty because they're on the Blitz this week, if they felt guilty for getting James Franklin fired. But Northwestern coming off the big win over Penn State. Josh, you get to pick first.
Yeah, the Cats are playing well. They could be on a 4-game winning streak coming into Lincoln next week. I think that's what ends up happening. I'm going with the Cats.
I've also got Northwestern. Camden?
Northwestern.
Give me Northwestern at home. I should go with Purdue.
I'm taking Purdue. Give me Purdue.
Give me Purdue.
I'm going to take Purdue here. I think there's a hangover.
Yes, I'm going to go Purdue.
Purdue? Okay.
Yeah, I think that there's a big emotional hangover after the win. That's not a team that knows how to handle big wins like that. Right? That's not a team that's like, oh, yeah, we beat Penn State. Like, I think there's going to be a big emotional hangover. Give me Purdue.
Boiler up.
All right.
Boilers, baby.
With the ugliest mascot in America.
How dare you.
Have fun with that. All right. How about this one? Penn State at Iowa, 6 o'clock on Peacock. Iowa favored by 3.5. I'm up first. Wow. This is wild, but I think I'm going to go with Iowa at home. And, all the stuff happening at Penn State doesn't even need to be mentioned, but Iowa at home for me. Camden?
I agree. I think Iowa's looking good. Scored, 37 last week against a bad Wisconsin team, but still – I think I got to go with Iowa.
Yeah, Iowa. Without their quarterback. Drew Aller's out for the year. You don't have your head coach. I watched their interim do a press conference this week. He looked shell-shocked. He said the team really hasn't gotten over this. Our practices are what they are. Like, there was no vote of confidence at all in the press conference.
Wow.
Give me Iowa. I don't even think 3.5 is a low number to me.
If that dude ever wants to be a head coach in his life, he needs to burn that press conference.
Yeah,
because that was about as bad of I don't know what I'm doing as he kind of was his hands would raise what do I do with my hands? Put him back down on the podium, dude. So yeah, give me Iowa. I think Iowa beats them up this week.
Wow. Yeah, no, it did give me a little bit of pause because UCLA, you saw the big bounce that they got from firing their coach, but completely different situation here. I feel like too with Aller being out, that's a big factor. So, yeah, definitely Iowa at home here.
All right. Clean sweep for Iowa over Penn State. If you would have told us that was going to be the case 2-3 weeks ago.
It makes November 22nd when the Huskers are there much for a lot of reasons, but much different. You look at that game a lot different now. It's just weird.
All right. Staying in The Big Ten here, Maryland at UCLA, 6 o'clock on FS1, and UCLA is favored 3.5. If you would have told me 3 weeks ago UCLA would be favored in a game, I wouldn't have believed you. But Camden, you get to pick first in this one.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with UCLA. They've won 2 in a row. I think Maryland might be reeling a little bit after the 2 straight losses and has to travel across the country to UCLA. So I'm going to go with the Bruins.
I think that's the hardest part of it. I think if this game were at Maryland, I'm going with Maryland to bounce back, but it's the travel for me that is the difference. It sounds cliche. It's hard for me to see UCLA winning another game. It would be 3 in a row for them, to see them winning 3 in a row, but I'm going to go with UCLA at home.
Okay. Searles?
Yeah, I'm going to take UCLA too. I mean, we've talked about on the show, we've been pretty spot on for a lot of the teams that have had to travel out west. They've really struggled. I mean, Michigan really struggled on that piece there. We watched it a few weeks ago with, the team that's only did is Indiana goes to Oregon and finds a way to win. But I'm going to take UCLA too here. I think they're riding high. I think their offensive coordinator's figuring out the headset. So I think we're in good spots going in. So go Bruins.
Josh?
I think UCLA is bound to have a letdown at some point, and I'm gonna predict that it's this week. So I'm going with Maryland. I think that they're a solid team. I do worry about the fact that maybe now it's in their head. They've lost leads in the fourth quarter 2 straight games, but I'm still gonna go with the Terps in this one. I'd be swimming upstream.
I'm with you.
Oh, okay.
I'm with you. I was gonna pick Maryland going into this. I think they've got some really good playmakers and better than what they've seen, the last couple weeks on offense. So I'm with you, Josh. At some point, the balloon's got to pop at some point, right? I don't know, maybe not, but all right. How about number 20 USC at number 13 Notre Dame, 6:30 on NBC. Notre Dame favored by 9.5. I was shocked by that line, Kyle.
Yeah, I'm going to go with, because for Notre Dame, I think USC can survive a loss and still get to the playoff. Notre Dame can't. This is a win. This is a playoff game for Notre Dame, especially at home. That thought process, give me Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's in the playoff when it's all said and done.
Searles?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Notre Dame here too. I don't think they cover. I don't think this is a 9.5 point spread. I think USC is going to come in and fight, and this is going to be a 1-possession game at the end. But I'm really excited to watch this game, so I'm going to go Notre Dame.
Yeah, that was my line of thinking too, Searles, is that I think USC keeps it within a touchdown, but I'm going with Notre Dame as well.
I'm going to do something that I haven't done in the history of picks and pick against Notre Dame.
You're going against them?
I'm going with USC. I don't know. I think they've impressed me last week, and I don't know. I don't know if Notre Dame, USC is the things that I doubted about them. I think they answered a couple of those questions last week against Michigan. So I'm going to go with USC to keep it rolling and get an impressive win here at Notre Dame.
Jess, I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm going USC. I think they get it done. I liked what they did against Michigan last week, and the fact that it was the line of scrimmage that they got it done in the running game. I'm going to stick with the Trojans.
Might be the first time that there hasn't been a clean sweep on this big of a spread this season. I feel like when it's over a touchdown, we've all gone with the favorite.
I think what's weird about college football this year is there is no predictor. What you've seen in the past is no predictor of the future.
Yeah.
So I watched that USC-Michigan game, and I don't think it just, there's different teams on a week-to-week basis more than we've ever seen in college football. So I don't lean too much on that Michigan game when I look at picking this game.
It wasn't just Michigan. They didn't completely fold against Illinois either, and I think that's where I had questions about USC is could they match up physically? And the two teams that they've played that are pretty physical, they haven't completely folded on. So that's where I kind of lean towards. All right, how about SEC top 15 matchup here? Tennessee, number 11 at number 6, Bama, 6:30 on ABC. Bama favored by, it started at 8.5, now it's 7.5. Searles, you are picking first in this one.
Alabama, Roll Tide is definitely going to win this football game.
That's it? That's all you got?
That's all I got. Just give me the Roll Tide. I think they're looking great this year. I think those first couple games were a bit of an anomaly, even though Florida State has not looked as great, and that might be the thing that keeps Bama out of the playoffs going forward. But I like Alabama. I think Kalen DeBoer's done a great job of getting that thing turned around when it seemed desperate and hopeless in Bama land.
I'm also Roll Tide in this one. Alabama at night. I think it's a tough place to play, so we'll go with the Tide.
Rolling the Tide, Camden.
Yeah, I got to go with Bama. I mean, they've been winning close games, both teams. Neither team I feel like has been really dominant lately, so lean towards the home team.
Yeah,
Wow.
give me Bama at home. I think Ty Simpson is your front runner to win a Heisman. How about that?
Okay.
How about that?
All right. Number 16, Missouri at Auburn, 6:45 on the SEC Network. Mizzou favored by 1.5. Josh.
I don't have a great feeling on this one. These two teams feel fairly similar to me, especially like at the quarterback position, which is what I feel like I look at a lot. I'm just going to go with my gut and say Missouri. I think they make it happen on the road.
Yeah, I could see Auburn winning this game at home, being at night, all that craziness. But I just have not been that impressed with Auburn. So I'm Missouri at least fought and kept it pretty close with Bama, put up a good fight. So I'm going to go with Missouri as well.
Yep, I got Missouri. I was going to say the Tigers, but they're both Tigers.
They're both
so
Tigers.
Missouri.
Rawr. Give me
okay.
Give me the Tigers.
Which
the
one?
Tigers of Auburn. But I'll say this. Auburn should have beat Georgia last week, by the way.
Yes.
Kirby's still calling that timeout that we're going to say was not a timeout. Give me Auburn at home. It's a big win for Mr. Hugh Freeze. Rawr.
They were clapping.
Yeah.
They were clapping. Timeout. Yeah, no, I agree.
going-
I like give me War Eagle. Give me Auburn.
All right.
Kyle, you and I are
I was going to say, you guys are
well
lining
this
up a
week.
lot.
I don't like this one bit.
You and I are either going to do really well this week or we're both going to be cleaning the
And
toilet
if
bowl next week.
history is a predictor of the future, it's full circle. And in this case, we're not going to do well. But in college football circles, when we evaluate games, maybe we would do well. So I don't know.
All right, last one. This is the Holy War. When we were doing research earlier. Number 23, Utah at number 15, BYU. BYU, one of the last unbeatens left in college football. 7 o'clock on Fox. Utah is favored by 3.5, but give me BYU at home at night. They're almost the equivalent of LSU playing LSU at night. So at home. So give me the Cougs.
I picked BYU last week, and they barely won. But since they won, I will stick with the Cougs and go BYU.
I think I'm going to go Utah here.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, no. Utah really hasn't let me down besides 1 week. This is it's close, but I love Kyle Whittingham. Huge Whittingham fan.
Yeah, me too, Kyle. I'm also a Kyle Whittingham fan. I think Utah
I'm a bigger fan.
Utah
I said it
showed me
first.
last week. Utah showed me last week against Arizona State that they can out-physical a lot of teams. BYU, this is going to be a huge test for them, and that's a hard place to play. But, man, I know those two teams hate each other. Like, there is no love lost for those two
Nothing
teams.
holy about this matchup.
There's nothing holy about what's about to happen on that football field. Give me the Utes.
Well, now I feel like I have to change my pick because Kyle and Searles are.
We took second last week, Josh. Get
Yeah,
off
I
of
know.
us.
You guys are turning
It's like,
around.
college football. It's like real college football, man. You can't predictor of last week.
But then I need to go
That's
back and
my
change all my other picks to go with you guys. No, I'm going with Utah on this one.
Let's go, Camden.
BYU has found ways to win games this season, but they just seem a little bit shaky. I know that Provo is a really tough place to play at night, especially, but Utah's just a better team in my opinion. So I'm going Utes.
All right, Husker question. What do you got for us this week, Josh?
Well, I'm going to go away from setting a line because that didn't go so well last week. It's very simple. Will Nebraska win the coin toss this week?
0-6. They are 0-6.
They are.
It hasn't mattered,
Funny question when we were talking about that on the TV show, and Keith Mann was like, "Do you want to call it this week, Jess?" I'm like, I mean,
May as well.
might
Tails
as well.
failed.
You're out
last week.
there.
They win it this week. They win it this week.
I think they lose it.
I'm going to go lose it as well.
Because Searles said lose it, I'm going to say they lose it.
Come on, Kyle. We're going down together, baby.
I'm going to say yes, they win.
Okay. Wow. That's fun.
What did we?
What was your question, Searles? You had one.
My question was going to be: does Nebraska get over or under 7 possessions? Because with Minnesota, they just slow the game down
Grind it.
so freaking much, and it's so freaking boring. So it's one of those things like if you're an offense, you might only get 6 possessions in this game. Like it's a wild thing. It's such a different like pace of play when you play a PJ Fleck Minnesota team.
I'll take the over.
I'll take over.
This doesn't count. I'm just telling you. I'm taking the
It
over.
does count. I would take the under.
I would take under.
I'd go over.
I think 7. I would put the line at 7.5. I would put the line at 7.5, and I would take the under that we get about 7, probably 6 or 7 possessions in this football game.
Interesting.
I'll say If you go by the trends of Minnesota, they've been throwing the ball a lot more this year. Completion percentage is not great, so there's going to be a lot of stop clocks, perhaps maybe some 3 and outs, so it could be a longer game, more punts, more possessions. Look at it that way. Give me the over.
All right, we got to wrap this thing up.
No, I want to keep going.
Monster segment here. Our Big Ten picks and college football picks are brought to you by Choices Treatment Center. If you or someone you know is struggling with problem gambling, free treatment is available in Nebraska. Call Choices 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300 for more information. Where are those offices, Searles?
They are located in Lincoln and Columbus, Jessica.
All right, great stuff. We got to get to a break. More of the show coming up right after this.
Preparation is the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pre-game routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
You show up for every Husker game because it's about more than football. It's about celebrating that Nebraska grit that's in our DNA. That same drive pushes you to get stronger, move more, and take care of yourself. To show up for the people and moments that matter most. We believe you have what it takes. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska covers preventive care with every plan. And our digital tools help you stay on track every step of the way. Blue believes in what you're made of. And Blue believes in you.
Huge savings on Dell AI PCs with Intel Core Ultra processors are here, and they're newly designed to help you do more faster. They can generate code, edit images, multitask without lag, draft emails, summarize documents, create live translations, and even extend your battery life. That's the power of Dell AI with Intel inside. Upgrade today by visiting Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
For almost 50 years, Sid Dillon Buick GMC Cadillac in Fremont has been more than just a dealership. We're a family dedicated to serving yours. Shop Nebraska's #1 volume Buick GMC dealer for the new car, truck, or SUV to fit your needs. We're also your GMC Business Elite dealer for commercial vehicles. Visit us at SidDillonBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Set, hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play, knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
A little more slack.
Whoever said work smarter, not harder, didn't realize you could do both.
Get 0.9% plus $3,250 cash on F-150 or lease F-150 for $499 a month and $0 down.
Hey, welcome back to Sports Nightly, Hour 2 here on a Thursday night. Matt Coatney setting in for Jessica and Kyle tonight. We'll let you know in Game 3 of the National League Championship Series, the Dodgers leading the Brewers 2-0. And in Game 3, in the bottom of the 8th, the Dodgers lead Milwaukee 3-1. And so it looks like the Dodgers are probably going to go up 3-0 in that series. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. On our text line at 402-413-2400, Dan in Imperial says, hey, Matt, at 7.1 yards a carry, you know what my answer is. Run. Who is our true number 2 running back? You know, on the depth chart, Dan, and thank you for the text, both Mekhi Nelson and Isaiah Mosey are listed as number 2. I think, in actuality, it's Mosey because he's a better, or is shown to be better, catching the ball out of the backfield, 103 yards, 9 catches. And I think what I've noticed about him is he's got extremely soft hands. Quentin Ives, 16 carries, 119 yards, 7.4 yards per carry. But I think that Matt Rule and Dana Holgerson feel more comfortable with Nelson and Mosey in that role. And so I think Nelson and Mosey, in my mind, I think Mosey has proven to be our number 2 running back. We'll have our final segment of Hour 2 of Sports Nightly in just a few moments. Stay right there.
Reliable energy service wherever you need it. Whether it's propane, fuels, or lubricants, Central Valley Ag delivers with reliability and care you can count on. From your farm to your home or your business, CVA Energy is your trusted partner for agricultural, commercial, and residential energy solutions. Details at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
The color red means something to us. It means tough, ready, and powerful. It means our standards are high, and we expect the highest level of performance on and in the field. So while the Huskers are getting it done on the football field, you can count on Massey Ferguson tractors to get it done in your field. With its seamless CVT transmission and efficient AGCO-powered engine, you'll keep charging down the field all season long. Check out the full line of Massey Ferguson equipment at Osceola Implement in Osceola and True Ag and Turf in Falls City, Columbus, and Osmond.
Hey Huskers, what would you do with up to $75K to upgrade your irrigation game? Automate that tough corner of your farm, add remote monitoring, or finally swap out that old pivot? Valley Irrigation just kicked off a bold $100,000 grant backing growers with real plays. 2 big awards, 1 chance to turn your irrigation challenge into a game-winning drive. See the playbook at valleyirrigation.com/Huskers. Just log in and grab an instant $50 Valley Parts or Service voucher. Here's the snap, valleyirrigation.com/Huskers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Luxury meets performance at Infiniti of Omaha. Discover power, comfort, and innovation in every Infiniti model. Right now, enjoy special financing and limited time offers, including a $10,000 retail bonus on the 2025 Infiniti QX60. Visit our showroom or browse our inventory online at infinityofomaha.com. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra, $299 doc fee due at signing. VIN number SC337401. Offer expires October 31st, 2025. See dealer for details.
At Hogemeyer, we're raising the bar on yield performance, bringing world-class traits and genetics to these local fields. With the exceptional corn rootworm control and proven powerful yields of new Vorceed Enlist corn. The unsurpassed flexibility and protection against above-ground pests with PowerCore Enlist corn. And other next-gen corn hybrids built to perform and boost your yields. It's time to raise a better crop. View Hogemeyer products at therightseed.com.
Hey, welcome back to Sports Nightly. Matt Coatney with you for our remaining moments in Hour 2 tonight. And a reminder that Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Jessica and Kyle have already made their way up to Minnesota with Ben McLaughlin and Damon Benning, and they will be on the call tomorrow. We will begin our broadcast of Nebraska at Minnesota football at 3 o'clock Central tomorrow. It is not a Saturday game, everybody. It is a Friday night game, so be aware of that. Josh Banderas will be my co-host for Big Red Reaction. We will join you at approximately midnight tomorrow night after the game and take you through 2 a.m. Central. Couple of things I will let you know. With a win, Nebraska would post its first 6-1 start since 2016. That's a significant goal for this team. The Huskers have not won 2 straight road games. And remember, they won at Maryland last week. They've not won 2 straight road games since the 2020 season, since winning at Purdue and Rutgers. And Nebraska has not won road games in consecutive weeks since defeating, get this, Iowa State and Kansas State in back-to-back weeks in 2006. 2006 that the Huskers won road games in consecutive weeks. Nebraska has scored 30 points in consecutive Big Ten games. They've not scored 30 points in 3 straight conference games since 2018, so look for that tomorrow. Also, Nebraska has held each of its first 6 opponents this season to fewer than 400 total yards. I think that's probably going to go to 7 tomorrow night because Minnesota, they try and slow the game down. The last time the Huskers held their first 7 opponents to fewer than 400 total yards was in 2009, and they did that with the first 11 opponents. Some other interesting statistics of note. Ja'Cory Barney has caught multiple passes in 19 consecutive games. He's become a great possession receiver for the Huskers. Emmett Johnson is heading home. Minneapolis is his hometown. He needs 38 receiving yards to become the 7th running back in school history with 500 career receiving yards. He'll need 5 receptions to join Marlon Lucky and Jeff Kenny, one of my favorite all-time Huskers, as the only running backs in school history with 75 career receptions. Emmett has 3 100-yard rushing games this season. The last Husker to have 4 100-yard rushing games in the season, Anthony Grant had 5 in 2022. And with 176 yards rushing against Maryland last week, the last Husker to rush for 150 yards or more in consecutive games, Divino Zigbo against Northwestern and Minnesota during the 2018 season. Well, that's going to wrap up Sports Nightly here for Hour 2. I have enjoyed being with you tonight. No Sports Nightly tomorrow night because we have volleyball on the network on some of our stations. Huskers at Michigan State, 5 o'clock with pre-match coverage, and 6 o'clock with the tip-off with John Baylor and Lauren Cook West. And then join me and Kyle and Jessica and Ben and Damon for Husker football against Minnesota. Tomorrow we will be with you with Husker Game Day at 3 o'clock Central. Ben McLaughlin and Damon Benning will take you all the way through Big Red Reaction until 2 o'clock a.m. Central tomorrow. That's going to wrap up Sports Nightly. I'm Matt Coatney. Enjoyed being with you. Good night, Nebraska.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Reliable energy service wherever you need it. Whether it's propane, fuels, or lubricants, Central Valley Ag delivers with reliability and care you can count on. From your farm to your home or your business, CVA Energy is your trusted partner for agricultural, commercial, and residential energy solutions. Details at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Step into elevated luxury at Woodhouse Lincoln. Right now, lease the 2025 Lincoln Nautilus Premier All-Wheel Drive for $599 a month for 39 months and 10,500 miles per year. Browse our inventory in-store or online at woodhouselincoln.com. Woodhouse Lincoln, the Omaha Metro's exclusive Lincoln dealer with approved credit, tax, title, license extra, security deposit waive, $4,897 down plus first payment, and $299 doc fee due at signing. Stock number L250240. Vehicle is a retired courtesy loaner. Offer expires October 31st, 2025. See dealer for details.
The color red means something to us. It means tough, ready, and powerful. It means our standards are high, and we expect the highest level of performance on and in the field. So while the Huskers are getting it done on the football field, you can count on Massey Ferguson tractors to get it done in your field. With its seamless CVT transmission and efficient AGCO-powered engine, you'll keep charging down the field all season long. Check out the full line of Massey Ferguson equipment at Osceola Implement in Osceola and True Ag and Turf in Falls City, Columbus, and Osmond.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us.